Hello, this is Ivan and welcome to the channel. I am happy to show you guys the latest iteration of my flight simulator. This is my Flight Sim 4.0 for those of you who have seen my previous videos. I got some new pieces of gear that I just added. I had ordered them a while back, but it took a long time for them to get here, essentially due to COVID. They both came from overseas, and I'll show you guys what those are. In addition to that, I will put up some brief videos on my initial impressions and overview of those two pieces of gear. What I'll do is I'll start with the computer and then I'll go over the flight simulator itself. So this is my computer. I did update it with an Nvidia 3080 Ti. The processor is an older processor, probably about 3 years old, but it works very well. It's the Intel i9-9900K. I love it. It works fine. I haven't had a reason to upgrade that. 64 gigabytes of RAM, and the machine holds its own. I'm very happy with it. So I'll come back over to here. And what we'll do is we'll kind of work our way from left to right. So this is new. It's not the piece of gear that I was waiting on, but it's new. This is the Thrustmaster Airbus joystick. I do have this installed on the left side, and that is for, there are a few planes that have left side joystick control, Cirrus being the main one. I know this is also primarily for Airbus. I don't really fly the big planes. That may change in the future, but I have it when I need it. It's also a great place to hold my headset. Behind that you can see an iPad. It has Foreflight running. I'm a student pilot, and I use Foreflight in my studies, and so I have this connected to the flight simulator via a small app, and I'll put a link to that app in the description below. It works very well with Microsoft Flight Simulator. It works very well with X-Plane as well. I use both flight simulators, but I tend to gravitate towards Microsoft Flight Simulator. Working my way to the right, I have my Honeycomb Alpha. This really needs no explanation except that I do love it. And I also, you can see that I have the Honeycomb Bravo next to that. If you look in between, I've got a few things in between. I have a Logitech FIPS panel. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with it. And as it turns out, when you space a Honeycomb Alpha and Bravo just far enough to where the yoke doesn't interfere with the Bravo, it's the perfect space for one of those FIPS panels. So if you have one of those, it's a great spot for one. And I typically use the gauge that it's on now, which is basically my fuel gauges and things like that when I'm using the Cessna 172. Below that is one of the pieces of gear that I was waiting on. It is the FSX Dual by Flight Sounds, a company out of New Zealand. What this does is allows me to use general aviation style headsets, which have a special plug, a dual connector plug, and that allows me to use my actual headsets for when I do flight simulation. It's called a dual because it has a connection for a second set of headsets. So meaning I could have somebody here with me and we could both have headsets at the same time and listen to ATC. I do utilize Pilot Edge and occasionally VATSIM, and that is what this is primarily for. And again, I'll upload a brief video over that piece of equipment. I'm very, very happy with it. Underneath my Honeycomb Bravo, I have installed a vernier style throttle and mixture, and this is more consistent with the Cessna 172. That's why I got it. It's connected with hook and loop tape up under the Bravo, and I haven't really had a chance to use it a whole lot. I just received it yesterday. I did already record a brief initial impression video of that, and I'll upload that later. The Honeycomb Bravo also needs no introduction. This is a tried and true piece of gear. I really like it. I find it to be very versatile. And as I start to get into different planes, especially the twins, I will use, you know, more of its functionality. But for right now, I do like it, and it just works great in my setup. Right here is an Elgato Stream Deck, and I'm running a plug-in that allows the Stream Deck to receive and transmit SimConnect commands, so I can use this as somewhat of a control panel for my sim. I've only just started using this, and there's a lot more to go in terms of programming it, but I have liked it. This is how I control OBS when I do my streams. Working my way up, I reintegrated my Logitech panels. Initially, I was going to leave them out when I started using Air Manager, but I have them, so I might as well use them. And I really do like them, especially with Pilot Edge, because it makes keeping on top of the radios a little bit easier, and the autopilot as well. What is new with that, the panels aren't new. I've had those for a long time, but what is new is this aluminum enclosure that I purchased off of eBay. And so there in that, and that's attached to the desk, and it's pretty solid. I really like it. Working my way towards the middle are my two touch panels that I purchased off of eBay, and the Sim Innovations Knobster. I've done videos of this. So this is where I run Air Manager, which I kind of consider, I know, you know, Microsoft Flight Simulator, X-Plane are really the heart of the sim, but you know, Air Manager is right there too, and it really adds to the immersive nature of this setup. And I can duplicate, or rather approximate, different setups just with the preset, and it's great. Currently right now I have a G1000 set up, but I could just as easily have steam gauges on this, and that is just excellent. That's what I like about this. What do I not like about my sim? Part of me wishes I had the actual like real sim gear bezels with the tactile knobs, and maybe that will happen down the road. That would of course be Flight Sim 5.0, but right now I really do like it. My monitor, I've actually had a change of heart with since the last time I posted anything. This is a cheap LG monitor that I purchased from Best Buy. It's like $240, $250. And at the time when I first installed it, it just was very bleh. But I've fiddled around with the color and temperature settings, and now I'm pretty happy with the picture on this. It does not compete with a an actual high-end game monitor, but I'm liking it now, and I'm happy with that decision. Just a couple of little streaming things that aren't necessarily related to the flight sim itself. These are some Elgato camera mounts, and that's my Sony camera, and this is an Elgato webcam that I use to show the panel when I'm doing my flight simulator. This is just an swing arm, boom arm rather, for my Shure SM7B, but just in case you wanted to kind of see that, you can kind of see where I sit. Anyway, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Can't believe the coolest piece of all of this is my Thrustmaster pendulum style rudder pedals. This is the best part in terms of accuracy. This feels the most realistic to me of anything in my sim, and I really do like them quite a bit. So sorry guys, I didn't mean to leave you out. Anyway, again, any questions, put them in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer. If you have any questions, I will get back with you as soon as possible. I will put a list of all the software that I use and the hardware and any links that I can think of. You guys have a great day.